So this is another example of simplifying an algebraic expression, and so this comes from our review, and it's actually question 3M. So in this example, we're not adding together or subtracting like terms, we're multiplying. So with our multiplication, we're going to actually, and with dealing with exponents, if we have the same base, and our base in this question is going to be the x and the y, and every single term has x and y in it, we're multiplying with like bases, we're going to add the exponents together, or and we'll multiply our numbers together. So we have a 4 and a 10 and technically a 1 in that middle term there. So one thing that you should keep in mind is, because this is a fraction and we're simplifying and we're not solving actually this equation, this expression, we're just combining all the terms, and when we're multiplying fractions, we're multiplying numerators and we're multiplying denominators, and then we reduce. And that's fine to do, but what you can do right off the bat is look to see what common factors we already have. So it makes life easier reducing earlier. It makes life easier to reduce earlier than leave it at the end, because we've got quite large numbers in our denominator. We have a 5, an 8, and a 9, and so multiplying those through, 5 times 8 gives us 40, and then 40 times 9 gives us 360. So it's going, finding like terms to cancel out is an easier approach. Sorry for that. Starting right off the bat. So if we look at our numerators, I have a 4 here, and I have an 8 in the bottom. So if I actually, 4 is a factor of 8, so 4 goes into itself once and goes into 8 twice. So I can reduce that down. And then when I look, I also have a 5 and I have a 10. So 5 goes into itself once and goes into 10 2 times. So I've already reduced a lot of what we have. So if I just rewrite the equation now, just slightly simplified, okay, I'll keep my denominators just for right now. We have a x to the minus 1 with y over 2 multiplied by 2x to the negative 2y 4. And we still have that 9. Okay? Now, even here, I can reduce further because I have a 2 in my denominator and a 2 in the numerator. So those will actually cancel out. So now it's just a question of looking at our laws, which is that our first law is when we have the same base, and we do in each of our terms, and this base is x and y. It's just a question of, well, how many x's we have and how many y's we have. When we have the same base and we're multiplying through, we're adding those exponents together. So we'll start with the x first. So we have a negative 2. And we're adding a negative 1 to that. That gives us negative 3. And then we're adding another negative 2 to that. So we actually have x to the negative 5 as our total. And then we'll go to the y. So when you have a term by itself or a letter, again, your exponent is assumed to be 1. So we have 1y, and we're adding another y to that. So that gives us 2 y's, and then we're adding a positive 4 to that. So what we end up having, oh, sorry, I think I've written this question wrong. Sorry about that. It is, our first term is 4x to the negative 2y 3. So I apologize for that. But everything up to this point has been correct. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything else. Okay, so I apologize for that. So our first term actually is y to the 3. So we're adding we have a positive 3, and we're adding a 1 to that, so that gives us 4, and then we're adding yet another 4. So 4 plus 4 gives us y to the exponent 8, and then we have 1 times 9 gives us 9. And I believe the question has asked you to keep all your exponents positive. So that's that rule number 3, where it's not a do it all the time rule. And so because of that, but the question is now asking you to keep everything positive. So what we will do is bring down that x to the negative 5 to the denominator, but the y to the 8 will stay up there. If we brought it down, it would actually be negative. So that's why the final answer is y to the exponent 8 over 9 to x to the exponent 5. And that's our final answer. So I hope this helps. Please let me know if you would like to see other videos.